Good afternoon. It is 1 p.m. here in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, and this is The Ambassador with me, Ambassador Susan Ng'ang'a, and here is where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. To our story, hundreds of protesters have gathered in Uvira, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, demanding the removal of General Gasita, a senior army commander accused by locals of failing to guarantee security in the troubled region. Let's have a look.
The demonstrators, made up of the youth, women, and community leaders, marched through the streets of Uvira, chanting slogans and holding placards, calling for accountability within the military leadership. They accused General Gasita of negligence in the face of escalating armed group attacks that have displaced families and fueled insecurity in South Kivu.
Nous a envoyé un officier dont nous ne sommes pas d'accord.
We were sent an officer we do not agree with, General Olivier Gasita.
Il a une très mauvaise expérience.
He has a very bad track record in Bukavu. If Bukavu fell, it's because of Gasita and Yav, who is currently in prison.
Protests over insecurity are not new to Eastern DRC, where armed groups have for decades carried out attacks on civilians. Despite heavy military deployment, local leaders say frustration is growing over repeated promises of peace that are yet to materialize. Previous demonstrations in North and South Kivu have often turned violent, reflecting deep mistrust between residents and the authorities.
Now we ask ourselves, someone who failed miserably in the city of Bukavu, why are they still being given the chance to lead where the armed forces are in a coalition with the Wazalendo and the population? It does not have the trust of the people, which is why together with the population we have stood up to demand his removal.
The protesters have vowed to continue pushing for General Gasita's removal until their concerns are addressed. Civil society groups say they will intensify pressure on the government in Kinshasa to act, while residents wait to see whether the military leadership will respond to their demands for change. Molly Rono for GBS News.
Now shifting the focus, Nigeria used car market is grinding to a halt as prices double under President Donald Trump's new auto export tariffs. Dealers say U.S. imported vehicles have become unaffordable, with some models now costing twice as much as last year. The spike has emptied showrooms and stalled sales nationwide, leaving traders with full lots and no buyers.
Nigeria's used car market is in free fall. Prices have doubled in the recent month, driven by steep new export tariff introduced by President Donald Trump. Vehicles imported from the U.S. are now sitting idle on dealers' lots, with buyers unable to meet the inflated cost.
We have less customers now. Nobody is buying cars.
The shift began in April when the U.S. imposed a 25% tariff on all vehicle export, including used cars born for Africa. Combined with Nigeria's existing import duties and weakening Naira, the result has been devastating. A Toyota Corolla that sold for 7 million naira last year now goes up to nearly 15 million naira, and dealers say sales have dried up.
Chances are this may just last for the period that Donald Trump will be the president of America. I don't see it last forever because over time, countries will retaliate, countries will reciprocate.
Many traders are calling it the worst downturn in years. Spare parts are also affected, and the ripple effect is hitting mechanics, transport operators and clearing agents. With no relief in sight, industry players says the market may not recover unless tariffs ease or local alternative emerge. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Ibrahim Said.
And now, a deadly and disturbing attack in western Turkey, where a 16-year-old armed with a shotgun opened fire on a police station in Izmir, killing 2 officers and injuring 3 others. The assault, captured on video, has stunned the nation and raised urgent questions about how such violence could come from someone so young. Here is more on the story.
A 16-year-old has been arrested after a deadly shotgun attack on a police station in Izmir, Western Turkey. 2 police officers were killed and 3 others, including a civilian, were injured in the Balkova district. The teen suspect lived on the same street and was wounded during his arrest. Footage shows the attacker in a black balaclava while injured on the ground. Panic erupted as he threw an object from his bag, prompting fears of a bomb and shouts from bystanders. Interior Minister Ali Elikaya called the act heinous. President Erdogan offered condolences and confirmed an investigation is underway into the teen's motives and possible connections.
The perpetrator of the incident, a 16-year-old man, has been apprehended. His connections are being investigated. I offer my condolences to our entire police force.
Elvis Muyodi, GBS News.
A very sad altercation there. And now the ambassador will take a short break. We'll be right back with even more as we continue to debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. So today we are diving into a topic that has become rather popular right here in Kenya, the K-pop culture.
I would say K-pop invokes creativity, like mega creativity. I have friends who are creative and you see you've done that and they're like, yeah. An ex told me that K-pop girls, K-pop stan girls, who's like, the men you stan look like women and you aim to get a man that looks like that. So if you fail to find a man like that, because obviously you're in Kenya, you're not going to find a pretty man. For me, it's like I have 2 personalities at this point. I have my normal life and I have my army life. Because when I get into my army life, it's just like a whole new world. A community full of people who don't judge, people who accept you. Learning Korean from a Kenyan can sometimes mess you up because they pronounce words differently, and when you speak to a native, it's like, hold up, what did you say?
I've never met like a K-pop fan. I don't know why.
What am I?
No, not many people want to like express themselves like I'm a K-pop fan. Unless you see them like wearing like a branded t-shirt or a branded hoodie, you'll realize that they're K-pop fans.
The main campaign of BTS is loving yourself, right? And K-pop has a lot of drawbacks, just like anything else. Too much of something is poisonous, And one of the drawbacks is it comes with beauty because they have these absurd beauty standards. While BTS passed this message that you're supposed to love yourself, embrace yourself, you're just perfect the way you are. You don't have to eat less to be beautiful. You're beautiful from the inside, right? Get into BTS, it's hard to come out.
Okay.
You'll realize that the way a man thinks, so they behave.
Interesting.
Actually, I saw a research saying that the population in Kenya, about 70% are below 35. Leadership should be light. It should be that which helps people to see and solve their problems. Yes. I believe a good leader is not a leader that brings excuses at the table. Is a leader that says, okay, we have this problem. How do we solve it?
How do you strike that balance by ensuring these leaders can be able to call shots, but their shots are justified? No one is going to complain. In the sense of, if this person A is making decisions, even if I'm not around, I'll agree to what they say.
Okay.
Where does today come before yesterday? Kumbuka majibu fupi pale kwa SMS line at 21144.
Art should be a mirror. It should mirror things that people are going through, both the ones that are spoken and the unspoken.
What's the difference between film and theater?
Film and theater.
If you had to write an entire story without either action or dialogue, which will you choose?
Wacheni ku treat film and theater kama entertainment.
Yeah. So film and theatre is a very strong tool.
How do you think art is related to film and theatre?
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin, and now to an update in the Afghanistan earthquake. More than 38,000 people have been affected by the devastating earthquake that struck Nangarhar and Kunar provinces, eastern Afghanistan, over the past week. Let's listen into the latest reports.
Everywhere, GBS.
The demonstrators
stall in Kunar with women in Afghanistan. Joint assessment by the United Nations and humanitarian partners have revealed widespread devastation following a series of powerful earthquakes. Thousands of families are now displaced, with women and children bearing the heaviest toll. In Kunar province, Chaka district, homes lie in ruins. Zadad Khan lost 4 members of his family. He and his children were injured when their 3-room house collapsed. Across Loyi village, the devastation was equally grim. Abdul Jabbar Hanafi says most of the 28 lives lost were women and children, unable to escape as the ground shook. Survivors endured heavy rains that night, leaving many children sick with diarrhea and pneumonia. In the Wagals Busara village, the World Food Programme is distributing aid packages including flour, oil, peas, pulses and salt, reaching more than 170 families across 3 villages. Meanwhile, in Mazadara of Nugal district, tragedy deepened for families like Bibi Koz. She's buried 3 of her grandchildren after son and daughter-in-law were pulled injured from the rubble. According to the United Nations, over 38,000 people have been affected by the earthquake in Nangarhar and Kunar provinces. At least 1,475 people have been confirmed dead and more than 2,300 injured, numbers expected to rise as assessments continue. Humanitarian partners are scaling up life-saving support, food, tents, water, medical care, and protection services. But needs remain overwhelming as thousands of families endure loss, injury, and displacement. We will keep you more updated on that story as it develops. And now to shifting the focus, we go to Turkey, where police have fired pepper spray and detained supporters as the main opposition party crowds gathered under the headquarters of the Republican People's Party in Istanbul. To protest against a court order removing a senior party official. Footages from the scene on Monday showed protesters clashing with police before the riot until pushed into the crowd. Demonstrators were seen clutching their eyes after being sprayed while officers led others away.
Tempers fly outside the Istanbul headquarters of Turkey's main opposition party, CHP. This follows a court ruling on September 2nd that all the party's 2023 provincial congress on the grounds of alleged irregularities. The decision led by the dismissal of elected party officials and the appointment of a temporary committee, triggering protest and a fierce backlash from the main opposition.
They are annulling our Istanbul Provincial Congress, shamelessly appointing a trustee. They're sending police to block the entrance of our provincial headquarters. They're violating our home, our sacred space, by not letting CHP members enter the house of their political family.
A party member has now taken over as appointed chairman of the CHP and Enstabel. He insists the move was internal and not made through outside intervention. He was only able to enter the building under police escort amid a backlash dragged to the team by party members.
The court has made a ruling. Those who filed the complaint are CHP members. All parties involved are from CHP. The colleagues who recommended us are also members of the Republican People's Party. We are not trustees or anything like that.
One of the dismissed provincial leaders says the move was politically driven.
The government can't accept CHP as Turkey's leading party and is trying to reshape it through the courts. But as devoted members, we won't allow it. We'll resist through all legal means.
And for some supporters, the judiciary's involvement amounts to an attack on democracy.
A military coup, but a civilian one carried out through the courts, and sadly by the people claiming to be CHP members.
While the dispute stems from internal tensions within the CHP, the ruling party's involvement is added security after the main opposition gained control of key municipalities in the 2023 local elections. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul Elmine.
And now to sports news. Muhammad Ali Ben Romande sent Tunisia to the 2026 World Cup with a dramatic stoppage timer winner in a 1-0 victory over Equatorial Guinea. The goal, set up by Firas Chakwat, secured Tunisia's qualification with 2 games to spare. Tunisia tops Group H with 22 points and has yet to concede a goal in qualifying. This marks their 7th World Cup appearance and a 3rd in a row. In other matches in Africa, Morocco extended its perfect run with a 2-0 win over Zambia. Ghana edged Mali 1-0, and Algeria stayed top Group G after godless draw with Guinea. Libya kept pressure on Cape Verde in Group D with a 2-0 win over Eswatini. And that sports news brings us to the end of our news bulletin this afternoon here at The Ambassador. I am your Ambassador Susan Nganga on The Ambassador 1 p.m. Follow a lot of stories at GBS TV Africa. It's updated throughout the day. We meet every Monday and Tuesday as we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. Thank you for your time and company. Have a good afternoon.